Hello world! In this series we will go through every single machine on Hack the Box starting point. These machines are very easy, but it's really a great place to start with, especially if you're a beginner in cybersecurity, pen testing, whatsoever. You will learn about many different essential topics, how to use services like FTP, SMB, Telnet and many more. We will also use Nmap, and I will also go into a bit more detail with Nmap. I will use Wireshark to explain some networking concepts, and we will write a reverse shell. There will be some SQL injection and many other things. So I will not only simply solve these challenges, but also explain everything you need to know, and sometimes even more than necessary. So if you want to start running, you need to learn how to walk first, and this place, in my opinion, is really a great place to learn how to walk. Okay, so let's start with Meow. Okay, so my machine is already active, it's already online, so we can go and we can solve task number 1. What does the acronym VM stand for? This is very easy, it's just a virtual machine. And now what is a virtual machine? Well, think of it as a virtual computer inside of your own computer. So for example, you can run any operating system other than your primary operating system. For example, if you're running Windows, you can run Linux or whatever you like, anything else. Or if you're a bit more crazy, just like I am, you can also run Linux as your primary operating system. So as you can see on this computer, I'm using Kali, and what Kali gives you is just all of these tools that you can see in here that are pre-installed. So it might be convenient, it will save you some time, but you can also run any other Linux as well. So I really recommend doing that. So after this video, go wipe your Windows, erase your Windows and just start using Linux. Okay, but for now, let's just go for task number 2. Task number 2, what tool do we use to interact with the operating system in order to issue commands via the command line, such as the one to start our VPN connection? It's also known as a console or shell. And this is also very easy, it's just terminal. What terminal is just this window where you can type in the commands. So whenever you use any command, whenever you type anything, terminal will give it to command interpreter like bash, for example, and then bash will take this command, will take this text first, and it will check it in the environment variables if this command exists in any of the directories specified in this environment variables. We can check that. We type in nv and we look for this environment variable, which is path, and this is here. We can also look for it with grep like this. Grep path -i means that we don't care about case sensitivity, so we can find path like this. We have it here, so whenever we type in any command in the terminal, the bash will check if this command exists, if this directory is specified in here. So for example, we can check where is ls command located, and as you can see, ls command is located in this directory. We can also go into this directory and we can also check what commands are in there. We can do ls, for example, ls user bin, a small typo. Okay, so as you can see, here are many different commands, and whenever you use any of these commands, bash will try to find them and it will locate them here, and then it will execute them. So that's what's a terminal basically. Okay, next question, task number 3. What service do we use to form our VPN connection into Hack the Box labs? And this is OpenVPN. And here, whenever you start working on a machine, you can either connect using Poundbox, which is here recommended, but I personally don't like it. I prefer to use my own machine. And how you do it is just connecting using OpenVPN. You download the OpenVPN file, and it's by default UDP. Then when you download it, you go into the terminal and you execute the command. Where do I have this? Here, sudo openvpn, and then you give this file that you download as parameter. So as you can see in here, the connection was established successfully, initialization sequence completed, and we can also go into the terminal. Let's clear it first. Let's do the ifconfig command. And here you can see I have multiple interfaces. So for example, this tun0 interface, this is the tunnel for the VPN that we created from Hack the Box. And this is our IP address. So this is the IP address that we are given from this VPN. So this is the IP that we're using to connect to the Hack the Box machines. And I think the next question is about ping. So what tool do we use to test our connection to the target with an ICMP echo request? So this is exactly ping. So for example, we can now check the connectivity. We go and take this IP address. This is 10.129.1.17 and we ping this IP address. So let's do that. So as you can see, ping goes through. It means that we have connectivity. And that's why you use ping basically. You can also use traceroute. Traceroute is much better tool if you want to troubleshoot networking problems because it gives you next hops. So to reach this destination, 10.129.1.17, our machine on Hack the Box, we go first to this hop, and from this hop then we go to the destination. So we can also check IP routes on Linux with this command, and here as you can see, or maybe let's clear the terminal, let's do the ifconfig again, and now IP route, because I want to compare it to this interface. So here as you can see, this is our IP in this interface, 10.10.14.66. And now if we want to go to any of these networks, to any of these ranges, for example here you see 10.129.0.0/16. This /16 means that these two zeros are host bits, so that means anything in this range can be changed, and this is our network portion of this address. So remember, our address for this machine is 10.129, so it's in this range, so we can ping it again. Or maybe let's do the traceroute again and let's just use the command history. So here as you can see, we go first to 10.10.14.1 and it's also specified in here. So this IP route shows you the routes to other networks. So to reach anything from this range, from this network or from this network, we go first to this IP address, and this IP address was exactly the one that we went to as the first hop in order to reach the destination. Okay, so also as you can see, our IP address, it's also here 10.10.14.66, is in the same range as this one. So this .1 means that we are going to the default gateway. When there is .1 in the beginning, it's usually means that it's default gateway. Okay, so this means that if we want to reach this destination, this range, and our machine from Hack the Box is exactly in this range, we go via this IP address, and that's exactly what happens in here. Okay, so let's go to the next question. What is the name of the most common tool for finding open ports on a target? And this is of course Nmap. And let's also use Nmap. So let's just do like this. Now we delete traceroute and instead we use Nmap on this same IP address. And now we will have to wait a bit. Okay, it's already done. So as you can see, we used Nmap, the port scanner for this IP address, and we have the port number 23 open for Telnet. So Nmap is very powerful tool, and we will go into more detail into Nmap in the future videos also, but I can give you some other flags for Nmap right now as well. So for example, you can do really a lot of things with this tool. You can specify -v for verbosity, so you will have more information, more details about this scan. You can also run the scan like this, so it would scan all 65,000 something ports. So by default, when you run Nmap like this, it will scan 1000 ports. Okay, so you can also run it with -f flag. This will be fast scan for 100 ports. You can also save output of this scan, -OA for example. We can give it a name first for first scan. We have to wait now a moment. Okay, now you do ls and we have the results from this Nmap saved in this all three formats. So O stands for output and A stands for all. We could also just do it like this, -ON for normal output. So it would only, now we will not see it because we already have others created. But now with the different name, you will just see one file. So see, first two is here only once. Okay, and first actually here also because it's just without extension. So there are many other different options. You could also run Nmap with SV for version detection, with -SC for default scripts, and this is very useful. You will most likely run the Nmap like this, but we will go into more detail later. So that's all you need to know for now. Nmap is used for scanning ports. Okay, next question. What service do we identify on port 23 TCP during our scans? So as you saw, it was Telnet. Exactly, and about Telnet, I can also show you something, but maybe in a moment. But basically what is a Telnet is just a tool that is used for remote connections, okay? So you can use terminal on another computer remotely from your computer when you're using Telnet, but Telnet is not encrypted and you should never use Telnet. I will show you in a moment in Wireshark why is that, but basically nothing on Telnet is encrypted, so you should always use SSH, for example, which by default would be port 22. And it's also worth to know that these ports are used by default for these services, but it doesn't mean that these services cannot be found on other ports. So it's all up to the administrators how they set this up. So this port you could see for other service, and this service you could find in any other port as well, but by default most likely it will be port 23 for Telnet, port 22 for SSH, port 21 for FTP, and so on. And as you can see so far, we really need networking knowledge if we want to do any hacking, pen testing whatsoever. So I really recommend checking out my other videos. I record videos about networking fundamentals and many other topics network related, so I really recommend checking this out. But let's go to the next question now. So this is now task number 7. What username is able to log into the target over Telnet with a blank password? And this is most likely root. And we can check this out. Okay, so let's just connect to our machine using Telnet. So we just type in Telnet in the terminal. We give the IP address and we use the user root. We check if it works. We have to wait a moment. And basically, as I told you, Telnet is not encrypted at all, so it will show everything in plain text. I will also show you that in Wireshark in a moment, but let's see. We are connected to our root, to our Meow machine as a root user, so now we can do anything in here. And when we do ls, there is our flag. And now maybe let's open Wireshark. Wireshark is a program to capture packets and analyze traffic in the network. So we will use this on the Tunnel 0 interface, the one we're using for the Hack the Box VPN connection. We have the Wireshark running in here. And let's do something now, but let's make it smaller maybe. So let's cut this flag. Okay, this is our flag, and as you can see, a lot of things is going on in here. Let's maybe search by protocol. We search by Telnet, and we will take a look into the packet with the most data inside. So this is our captured packet, Telnet, and there is this data inside. So let's compare it. What is it? Our flag starts from B40 and this data starts as well from B40. So this is basically our flag. So as you can see on Telnet, nothing is encrypted, so it's very not safe to put it like this. So you should never use Telnet. An alternative would be to use SSH, which is encrypted, but sometimes you might see Telnet running, so it is worth to know that it is not encrypted and you can basically see everything in plain text. Okay, so that's it. Let's move to the next question, and the next question is just the flag. So this is our flag. We just pawned our first machine on Hack the Box. Congratulations. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please write a comment, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. I'm really open to criticism. I'm very new to YouTube and to editing videos and so on. So please tell me what you think, give me your feedback. I'm open to everything. Give me a like or a dislike if you didn't like, and subscribe to my channel. So see you in the next video. Goodbye.